What's going on, everybody? Trev Wilson here. Welcome back to the Bourbon Ranch. That is right, a Midwinter Night's Dram, the Encore. High West celebrating 10 years of a Midwinter Night's Dram, and they're putting out something different, which made me super excited. We get Midwinter Night's Dram for 10 years, 10 acts, and then they switch things up with us on the Encore. So, if you don't know about this bottle, it is, or was, I should say, a distillery-only release. People came out in droves. It was just crazy. The photos I saw were absolutely insane. Just people loving it. People getting multiple bottles of this. I have to give a huge shout out to a great friend of mine, Janelle, who muled these out for me. Seriously. My friends are awesome. You need better friends. The Encore is different from the regular Midwinter. They use white port barrels instead of the usual tawny and ruby port. So they go from a tawny ruby, now they're going to white port. Also, the proof is different on the Encore. It's 50.8. All of the other Midwinter bottles are at the 49.3, which is 98.6. All of them. They're all the same. They upped the ante a little bit on this. Still comes in the beautiful bottle. The Midwinter bottles are some of my favorites. I mean, come on. It doesn't really make a difference, but it does make you feel kind of good, kind of fancy. When you pick up the bottle, just the little air bubbles and stuff that are in it, it looks amazing. The marketing's on point. The embossed on the bottle, just everything about this bottle looks cool. They even spruced it up with a little gold and all that, so let's just get right into this. I am super excited. I do have the Act 10, so remember, hit that subscribe button if you want to see my thoughts on that bottle. That will come soon. But I'm just so dang excited to get into this one. I decided we're doing it first. So let's get right into it. On the nose. This is one of the craziest rye noses. And what I mean by that is there's a lot more of bourbon influence, bourbon notes than I was even expecting. There's not a whole lot of rye characteristics. Like, there's not a whole lot of green notes, if that makes sense. Not a whole lot of minty or menthol-y or evergreen, whatever. Not a whole lot of it. It's a lot of your typical bourbon vanillas, some sort of thick caramel, and then a little bit of freshness, which I'm guessing is coming from the finish. You know what this smells like? This is gonna go, I'm going off on one of my food tangents, but Miss Wrench makes this certain kind of cookie during the holidays. It's a huge sugar cookie, but she stuffs the inside of it with like caramel squares, okay? It's crazy. And then sprinkles the whole outside of it with like a cinnamon powder. That's what this smells like. It's like I'm getting a sugar cookie, I'm getting cinnamon spice, and I'm getting thick caramel. This is that cookie. Like a snickerdoodle cookie or something with maybe a little fruit. So maybe you put fruit in there too. You could do like an apple pie cookie. Let's get into it. The nose is immaculate. That's amazing. Like, this is what you want the nose to smell like. Smelling that nose is like the start of the Encore. You know what I'm saying? Like, your favorite band just walked off the stage, the lights go out, and you're like, yeah, that was so awesome. Lights go out, but then, as everyone's cheering, you just hear that rise of music again. It's like the intro song, and you're like, oh my God, it's the song! It's the Encore! All right, on the palate. I'm gonna stick with what I said on the nose. This is thick. It's caramely, almost maple syrupy. Not a whole lot of spiciness, I will say. The rye component, not too prevalent. I think it's mixed and blended in there really well. I think, honestly, that's why bourbon drinkers, this is like a cult classic. You know, people like me who are like, man, I'm not really that much of a rye person, and then I pick a rye as one of my top favorite whiskeys of the year. You know what I'm saying? That's why. I think it's so bourbon friendly, and maybe those rye notes are blended so well. I think the finish brings some sweetness to the table that bourbon people love. It's freaking fantastic. I still get a little bit of that sugar cookie note. And even it's really hard for me to explain this, but a freshness to it, which has to be coming from that white port. Almost like I almost wanted to say apple, like a green apple freshness. They say on the back that you get yellow stone fruit. I'm not the biggest yellow stone fruit eater. Like, I didn't even know what that was. So I Googled it, and it's stuff like apricot and peach. I totally get that. It's definitely some sort of fresh fruit note. Maybe to me, the only thing I can really think of is like a peach. So it's definitely in here, like a peachy, fresh, yellow, fruity note. You know, now that I'm thinking about it, and now that my head is in this whole dessert thing, Mama Wrench used to make this apricot dessert. It was like a casserole that you would, I don't even know what she did to it, but it was apricots and cinnamon spices and everything Thanksgiving in the dish right here on the palette. So we're getting cookies and we're getting casserole. No wonder this comes out around holidays like Thanksgiving and Christmas, because that's all we're eating. It's the only food you really need. Even though it has the lightness, so that stone fruit lightness, it still drinks like something you would want to pour and sit next to a fire. You know what I'm saying? It has a thickness to it, a depth of flavor, maybe a complexity. It still's coating your mouth really nice. It has a fresh quality to it. Overall, I am like blown away from this. This is so good. This is amazing. I'm just gonna call it right now. This is definitely making it in the top 5 whiskeys of this year for me, probably. I opened this today. This is just pouring it right in the glass, okay? It doesn't need to open up. No, it's just great. So my final thought on this is going to be a staple at the Thanksgiving table. Going to kill the bottle because I want to. So good. Now you might be wondering, Trev, is it worth the price that people are charging for it and paying for it? No. I don't care what it is, nothing is worth that price. To me, maybe it is to you, not to me. There's no way I would pay substantially more for this bottle. Even as much as I love it and how good I want to say it is, come on, it's a finished rye whiskey and it's done right. Like, it's not Jesus' tears bottled up, okay? If you see other reviews come out on this and they rave about it, seriously, don't go to the secondary market and blow all your money on it. It's a really good bottle. If anything, what I hope to see, this is not the first white port that I've ever seen or have I've tried. There's a lot of people doing tons of finishes, tons of new releases, new barrels that you've never even heard of. There's tons of people coming out with them. If anything, if something like this is really successful and people really love that flavor profile, other companies are gonna wanna throw their whiskey in white port barrels, okay? So for the retail price, for what you got at the distillery, for going and getting in line and all of that stuff, totally worth it. As a limited release, I think they did really well. They knocked it out of the park. They did something really cool and fun and unique. They are really sticking with the theme of the whole, the Midwinter show and whatever, the play, the Shakespeare, all that. It's really cool. This is just a great extension to that, and it's a beautiful whiskey, and I'm going to enjoy it the rest of this winter time. Hope you liked the video, everybody. Again, thank you, Janelle. You freaking angel. If you were fortunate enough to get one or had someone go and smuggle you one, because I know there was a lot of people there who weren't from there, flying from all over the country. So if you got one, let me know what you think of it. What do you think of the white port? Are you hoping more brands come out with white port? Let me know down in the comments. Remember to like, subscribe, comment, turn on notifications, all of that stuff. It does help the channel. If you want to help me more, join the Patreon page. You get access to exclusive merch and access to barrel picks. And until next time, everybody, I'm Trev Wilson. I'll see you in the next video.